What's up, guys? I just finished an 18-day dry fast in northwestern California. I went to the Mendocino, California area because I found that that was the best set and setting. So late into my dry fasting journey, I found that set and setting was something that I overlooked for a long time. And I feel like the way you can actually make that as good as possible is getting into environments with 70% humidity, with good air quality, and you're getting into environments where it has temperature that's a little lower. And the reason why that's important is because you're producing cortisol on your fast. You're producing a hormone that makes your body want to get up and actually find food and water. So it's a hormetic experience where you're inducing a stressor in order for a greater good. Just like working out, you're stressing the muscle in order for you to rip the muscle tissue in order to become bigger and stronger. And so that's the same thing with fasting. And when you get into these colder environments where I like to have as a 35-degree Fahrenheit as a low and 55-degree Fahrenheit as a high, that's the sweet spot. That's what I find to be best. Okay, so 70% humidity, good air quality, and 35 degrees Fahrenheit as a low and 55 as a high. That's the best set and setting. And to be kind of on the ocean or a body of water, even better. It can be kind of expensive though. And so I found this environment and I was able to prepare perfectly. I got hydrated, I got my minerals, I got the electrolytes with the salt flush, and I was ready to go. And the reason why I incorporate salt flushes, even though they're very intense and gross, is because they accomplish two things. One, they're able to dig out a part of the intestines that the enemas can't reach. So your small intestines aren't really touchable by enemas. So the salt flush is able to flush that out. And a salt flush, what it really is for me is I just do 24 ounces of water and I shake up 2.5 teaspoons of pink Himalayan salt that's well sourced. I shake it up until it's dissolved completely and I chug it in less than a minute, really. You can do less than 5 minutes. And when you have just enough salt, the body understands it's too much and it rejects it. So now your body is actually producing liquids into the intestines to flush out that salt because it doesn't want all of that, right? And so it's able to flush it out the small and the large intestines. So you're getting like a pre-intestinal cleanse. And more importantly, the reason why I do salt flushing is I'm flooding my body with electrolytes and potassium. And that comes into play because I can be very dizzy in a fast. And it's when I don't have sufficient electrolytes, even when I drink coconut water and high potassium products, it's still not enough. And something that the salt flush is able to rectify. So I was able to embark on this fast in like a great place overlooking the ocean. It literally was kind of like a luxurious place with like modern furniture, and I had like all the windows open, and like luckily enough, the breeze and the wind was actually very good at the time. So I'm actually able to enjoy, that humidity level at 70%. So I'm doing breath work, and what I find is that you're on a fast, your body transitions to endogenous hydration. Endogenous meaning internal hydration. So your fat stores are utilized as hydration. And your hypothalamus is in charge of that switch. So your hypothalamus is kind of like the coach of the football team. It's calling all the shots. It even kind of tells the thyroid what to do. And so the hypothalamus is making that decision. And now I'm on endogenous hydration, producing energy from my fat stores. And now I'm fully in ketosis. And I'm also able to utilize breathing as my hydrative source. So as long as my oxygens are my source of, my lung is my source of hydration, it still qualifies as a dry fast, I found. So you're on a dry fast, your skin actually also becomes pure and it starts getting rid of the protein buildup. And, um, and your kidneys also start dissolving the protein calcification there as well. But for beginners, they can have a little bit too much protein in their kidneys, and that can be a scary thing. And it's a common question: what about my kidneys? So you can actually cure kidney calcification with dry fasting. It's kind of an ironic thing, but you don't want to go too much too soon. That's how people can come into problems. You want to start very small and then break those initial fasts with sodium bicarbonate because it's going to help disintegrate that protein calcification in the kidneys, and you're going to be able to let your blood filter more properly. And that's the name of the game right there, is actually letting your blood filter properly, because your lungs, your skin, and your kidneys are all doing that. They just want clean blood to distribute across your body, distribute the oxygen around your body sufficiently. And so what I find on these dry fasts, what becomes very clear to me, is that your body understands that the priority is your brain. The priority is to keep you thinking, because now you're calling the shots If you're collapsing, if you're fainting, that's not conducive to your body getting hooked up. So it needs to keep your brain alive, making good decisions, and your brain active rather than brain alive. So that's what your nose is really for, is you're actually like snorting oxygen. That's the drug of choice. You're snorting oxygen to your brain cavity. It doesn't have to go to your lungs and then go to your brain. Your nose is able to get that straight away. And so that's what your heart's able to do as well. So your heart actually it rises in frequency. So like your BPMs, your beats per minute are actually rising because your body's trying to get oxygen to your brain. Um, so so that's what ends up happening, and then it'll get through that process once um, a certain thing is getting accomplished. So if your body is actually trying to fix the liver, or if it's trying to like get rid of a parasite, some certain times you can get really tired because your body is 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 much more efficient at utilizing energy towards getting rid of the parasite or that liver issue rather than giving your body energy. So there's like these lulls of energy that are very temporary. Don't think that they're actually going to be there forever. You just can wake up the next morning and feel great. Just let your body do its thing and kind of flow with it. It's a roller coaster ride. It's not like a, um, a linear thing. There's ups and downs. Okay, until your body finds equilibrium before it finds like balance again. And that's often so. On this video, I'm going to go into the deficits of dry fasting as well. Okay, so like I might as well just do that right now since I mentioned it. So one of the deficits of dry fasting, there's four big ones that I found, is that people can experience the recolonization of pathogens after their fast, and uh, and so what ends up happening is that on a fast, your body's just trying to find the equilibrium. It's trying to get rid of the acids. It's trying to get rid of the pathogens so it can find a spiritually energetic, conductive body again, so that's able to navigate this life enjoyably. And so you're able to connect with Father God and Mother Earth. That's kind of like what I think fasting is. And so when you don't fast long enough, your pathogens can recolonize the body. This is important to know, is that the recolonization can be a very sad experience because those are making you have more negative frequencies that are occupying the brain, and the bacteria in the gut can influence the brain as well. While these things repopulate, it can cause sadness, anxiety, and depression, some of which you think was you, but it's not really you. It's the influence of these parasites on the mind. So people can take medication for this, but it's really just a parasitic presence of it. And so I've been recently thinking about how parasites kind of are, um, they can be, they can stick around from like mother to son, and then like through like ancestry and lineages of family. So you want to, I feel like that's what babies do. So babies are pretty much like crying, kind of relieving themselves of that liquid that might be compromising the body. So obviously babies are high in stem cells, their immune systems are very high. They want to, they're crying to kind of release the negative frequencies and the negative liquid that might be occupied by the pathogen. So after these fasts, oftentimes people will cry incessantly because they are getting recolonized. Okay, and that's just the fact of the matter. I'm just shooting you guys straight. So when you're getting recolonized, it's not a fun environment, and that's the time to take notes. How is this parasite navigating the body? How can I navigate this in my normal life? What kind of foods do I need to kind of get rid of? Because that's instigating, that's causing headaches, that's pushing this mucus on my cranium and making me feel very unpleasant after the fast. That's when people don't fast long enough to get rid of the pathogen altogether. It's the prolonged fasts that really get the job done. It's not these small ones that you kind of take a month off. Okay, it's that's the thing, is like the download file needs to get complete to 0%. You don't need, like when you go halfway, the recolonization of these pathogens can happen in a matter of 24 hours. So taking a lot of time off is not conducive to that. So the next thing that I think is a deficit to fasting is mineral loss. So like you can end up losing a little bit of hair after the fast because your body was pulling on your hair for minerals, just like it pulls on your bones for stem cells and minerals as well. It's reallocating it to your vital organs, just like a cold plunge would do for the body, where your red blood cells start hugging your vital organs. Same thing with fasting. Your body's reallocating minerals to where they're needed most. That's what your body is doing. It's a survival vessel. It's storage. Hair is storage for the minerals. So when you're actually dry fasting, you're pulling on this. So after the fast, your nails can become like, they can have like little bumps in them, like it kind of like, it's as if it's kind of dipping down a little bit. When your nails are like that, that means that they're deficient in minerals. You're not sufficient in minerals. That means you need to uptake more. And my favorite source is sea moss. I like shilajit's okay. Blackstrap molasses, I often talk about a lot. Living foods, like raw living foods, juices and stuff like that. People get minerals from like animal organs as well. But I think the best source is really just sea moss and like blackstrap molasses because it's like a deeply rooted sugarcane root that's actually like it's pretty much like maple syrup on steroids. So maple syrup and honey are very good as well. And then over the course of time, when you're giving your body so much minerals, it's going to be able to allocate that accordingly, and your hair will become full and thick, and your nails become strong, and that's just how it is. But when you're mineral deficient, your hair will fall out in your normal life because you just don't get it. It's a matter of you getting enough of that. And even when you take a lot of blackstrap molasses, it's like a darker maple syrup. Your eyebrows will become like darker because it's actually being utilized. One of the next deficits of dry fasting is muscle loss. So like I don't lose any muscle until like day 12, but it's really muscle sparing because your body will go through like fat stores and like internal like hydration before it goes to um, muscle stores. And you'll know when it goes into muscle stores when you're urinating like more of a brownish um, liquid, and that's when you know like okay, now I'm dipping into muscle. And it's totally okay. Like you have all the time in the world to like rebuild muscle. It's just like the bacteria. People fear like they'll never get it back. Like have fun rebuilding the body. You're starting with a blank canvas again. So it's kind of like no bacteria, a little muscle, and now it's up to you to kind of like reawaken and re-understand how you want to navigate this life. Your intake shouldn't be the same. What did you learn from the fast? What is your body truly craving? It's and that's what I realized hydration really is. Like the liquid in water is really just a transportation vehicle for the minerals to get to the place they need to get to. The body just wants the minerals, and so the hydration is just the lubrication to get there. And uh, and so that's one of the big things. And so it takes pretty much the length of the fast um, to break the fast with. So if you went 7 days, you should take 7 days to rebuild. Okay. And so, like I said, to reiterate, like definitely get some sea moss capsules or something like that to give your body a leg up on just getting the minerals back into the body. And you'll know when your nails become strong and your hair stops falling out when you brush it. Okay. The third way that there's a deficit in dry fasting is family and friends. They get a little agitated. So when they don't understand dry fasting like you, like they're not going to understand it, and they're going to love you so much that they're going to make sure that you don't do it, or that they're concerned for you. They're calling, they're making you stop earlier. Like you heal as deep as you understand how to. And when people don't understand how to heal, they're going to make people they love stop doing it, right? And so, like that's why I go on these vacations, because like my family and friends understand how to do it, and most of them, if not all of them, are now fasting because I'm constantly talking about this stuff. But like I'll go to an area of the world where it's out of sight, out of mind. I'm just isolating myself so that I'm able to do this properly without actually troubling anybody. The fourth deficit to dry fasting is the rebuilding can be slow. Okay, so like just like your hair is mineral storage. Wherever there's hair, like that's where there's usually a vital organ that the body really thinks is important. So your hair is actually near your brain. So obviously that's a decision maker. The Godhead needs to be sufficiently stocked with minerals. But also your reproductive area also has hair because it's quickly accessible minerals where it needs to be. And so just like muscle glycogen as well. So it's easily accessible glycogen that doesn't have to pull from your liver in order to get energy. So like you have glycogen all over your body, so it's easily accessible depending on the activity that you're doing. Okay, so when you're rebuilding, it takes a while for that muscle glycogen to be restocked. Okay, so it can be easy to like tear muscle tissue if you're going into an arduous activity, but you really want to take it easy and just kind of slowly rebuild and just like take it easy on your body and let it. You'll know when it's time because you'll feel very like more fragile and gentle after a fast before you're actually able to embark on something like a hike or something like that. And you can tell in your quads. Sometimes your quads won't be able to climb stairs that efficiently. So you can tell when you're ready for like longer walks. it's okay to take some time off, and you don't have to like, it's a sign of vanity really if you want to like get the muscle back on the body. Like it's like right away. Like just take it easy. You're gonna get there. Just like with a fast, like you like impatience is actually detoxed as well, and it certainly was with me because I was a very impatient person when I began this journey, and now, I mean, like you have to pay the price. I mean, it's just like you if you're going to be chilling and meditating all day, like fasting, like there's no room for impatience at that point. You have to be staring into the abyss, just letting time pass for days. That's a really hard thing to do. Dry fasting is not a hard, it's not an easy thing to do, and that's why I'm offering the information that I have, because I've done so many of them, and I've made some mistakes, and I'm still learning. And so those are the four deficits that I find to be most pertinent with fasting. And so the on this fast, to kind of follow up with like the rest of how this fast went for me, is that I was able to kind of really dip into these very clairvoyant dream states, and it was a very positive fast, and I was able to like really fine tune like my mental fortitude. Okay, so and how I know that's actually happening is when I actually wake up from these fasts, I'll be challenged within 2 minutes. Like, so I'll experience either dehydration, where I was sleeping with my mouth open by accident, and I'll feel systemically dehydrated. And so I have to like re-enter into breath work in order to rebalance myself, and just kind of going through those fear constructs. And then also like waking up, and automatically my default method is positive thinking right away. It's like, oh, thank God I'm fasting. Oh, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm out here. I get the opportunity to do this. Not like, oh my gosh, how much more time? I'm dehydrated. Like, what am I doing? This is crazy. Like, when am I gonna be with my family? Like, I feel so lonely. Like all these negative things can be in the mind, but and also you can be like not accepting of the fast. So like it's good to like those are times to like exercise the muscle of your mental fortitude. Because sometimes I meet people in life where I'm like, they just like are unwavering. Like you can see in their eyes, they're just like super mentally strong. And there's only a couple people that I find that are incredibly mentally strong in life right now, and I can name them right now. Actually, one is a UFC fighter. I can just tell he's out of control, strong mentally, and his name is Alex Pereira. He just fought Israel Adesanya. This guy is special. Like he's definitely done a lot of mental work. You can tell, and he kind of like has a very Native American theme going on where he really tunes into that. And the other person that I think is very mentally strong is a guy named Sat Marga. Two names, 2 words, SAT space MARGA. This guy is also another faster. He's a juggernaut. He's a mental juggernaut. He's navigated all these higher selves, and he's able to go into these states where he can really challenge himself mentally, and it's very inspirational. Because before, I don't really have many inspiring figures in my life, and I think that I find inspiration more from like things that are not human, like more so like nature and experiences and travel and things like that, rather than people. But every now and then you see some special people. Um, so anyway, I went on a tangent, but like eventually on this fast, I was able to kind of feel into dream states in my Akashic records, previous lifetimes, and stuff like that, and different visions, um, and also just have fun with dream states. Just kind of like enjoy it, and like maybe fly over to different universes and stuff like that, and experience different like entities, and that's a really fun thing that really isn't available in my normal everyday intaking life. And then by day 15, without a doubt, every single time I get to the more spiritual states where it's hard to imagine it happening when you start a fast, but it happens every time on day 15. And eventually, um, that's when I start having an ego death. And that's exactly why I break these fasts on day 18. It's when I'm dissolving my ego as much as I'm ready to do so. And I'm not hard on myself when I break, even though I didn't reach my goal. So that's the reason I break on day 18. I've done 20-day dry fast before, but like um, what it really is to me is like understanding my idea of death and transcending my idea of death. And I enjoy this life so much. I have beautiful friends and family. I love my physical vessel, and I'm able to travel wherever I want, and my job is great. So like I really enjoy my life experience now. So letting go of that is kind of an interesting undertaking, and kind of like really being okay with eternity. And it's not like I'm welcoming. I don't expect to die. It's just like I'm kind of like redefining what death means to me. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm navigating now in my later fasts. Um, but yeah, hopefully this video was valuable to you. And I haven't released a video for a while, but yeah, happy healing to you guys. And you can find me on my Instagram. I usually communicate a lot with people, and just click the link in my bio if you want to like talk verbally. I usually help a lot of people with tumors, cancers, STDs, and eczema, weight loss, all these things. I give as much information as I understand, and it's very curated towards you. I'm not one of those people who like is a know-it-all or talks over you. There's definitely like cathartic informational releases, like people that can get it off their chest, and like I can get the full picture, and we can formulate a game plan accordingly. Anyway, happy healing, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of the week. And I'm excited for summertime to hit too. But yeah, have a great day.